What is the structure of the entire universe? What would the entire universe look like, both microcosms and macrocosms? Let's look at the microcosm first. When you go to the beach, you can see countless grains of sand. If you pick one of the grains of sand and look into it, there are countless microcosms. Of course, not only grains of sand, but everything that is visible or invisible to our eyes contains an infinite microcosm. The same goes for the great universe. There are still larger super-universes, as well as larger super-universes to infinity. On the other hand, even if you collect all the countless universes, similar in size to ours, they are much smaller than the size of a single grain of sand in the macrocosm. In this way, the universe transcends any imagination. If you look into the microscopic world, there is an infinitely dense and densely infinitely small world. And looking at the big world, the infinitely big world exists endlessly. Of course, with extreme advances in science, we may be able to uncover even more of these structures. But if my assumptions are correct, science will forever be unable to uncover the end of this structure. This is because, no matter how advanced scientific equipment is, smaller and smaller, microcosms will continue to exist, and larger universes will continue to be discovered. If we summarize the appearance of the entire universe, it is as follows. Microcosm, microcosm. Current universe, giant universe, supergiant universe. Here, the smallest universe converges to infinity at zero. So small that there is no way to know its size. This is because no matter how small the size is, there are infinite universes that are already smaller than that size. On the other hand, the size of the largest universe is, of course, infinitely large. No, there can be no such thing as the largest universe. This is because there are infinitely larger universes outside the universe. That is thought to be the largest. The larger universe exists infinitely. And the size of the largest universe is simply immeasurable. So, how small is this entire large universe compressed together? If all of this universe is compressed with infinite power, it converges to zero forever and becomes infinitely smaller. After all, the universe grows infinitely, but when it shrinks, it is infinitely compressed to the extent that it cannot even be called a single point. That doesn't mean there isn't anything. In other words, it is not zero and does not specify its size. Since it converges to infinity at zero, its size cannot be specified forever. In other words, the universe is not a world of nothingness. In the world of nothingness, it is difficult to explain everything that exists. There must be at least a first cause. However, it is not a perfect world. In the end, it is a world that is neither judo nor martial arts, neither existing nor non-existent. If the entire universe described above is infinitely compressed, it converges infinitely to zero. In other words, it becomes an ambiguous state, neither existing nor non-existent. These infinitely small beings made various combinations, using an infinite number of cases, and it made the world colorful. In other words, small elements that converge to zero, which exists in infinity, are constantly combined, divided, and mixed to change endlessly. It constantly changes into new shapes. Due to this characteristic, everything we can think of, and everything we can't even think of appears to appear and disappear in the universe. However, nothing that exists in the entire universe is newly created or nothing that did not exist suddenly pops up. Everything is created by the division, mingling, and change of the first cause. It is only that the first cause that originally existed changes into particles, waves, energy, etc., and uses an infinite number of cases to create countless life and matter. And its shape, nature, and role change. Thank you very much for watching to the end.